Hello there, and welcome to another episode of World of Tanks and Ungainly Titan. We're here on Ghost Town, standard battle. I'm in the T34, the US Premium Heavy Tank at Tier 8. It's a Tier 9 battle, and it's a lot of heavy tanks. Ghost Town isn't the worst map to be on for the heavy tank. However, it's not the best either for a lower tier heavy tank. With Tier 9 tanks out there and Tier 9 tank destroyers, and it's very unbalanced in the tank destroyer department because pretty much all the tank destroyers are on the enemy team. Now, of course, it's a mixed bag to be a tank destroyer in Ghost Town because it's an urban map. It favours armoured, well-armoured tanks. There isn't much that happens along the periphery because getting into the periphery, you're going to be spotted. You've very little opportunity for stealth, and you're going to take flanking fire from out of the town as well as fire from anybody else who's out around on the periphery of the battlefield. So, like I usually do with slow heavy tanks in this map, I try and come into the middle first. See if I can engage any targets around the central square, because there's always somebody kind of firefights around the central square. Ideally, in the T34 you want to get into kind of hold down positions, but it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes you just have to take the positions you find yourself in. The other thing, of course, in Ghost Town is you need to keep a very close eye on what's going on around you, because people tend to try and drift towards flanks, and as they do, they kind of withdraw from one flank, so they kind of it's like, I suppose, a reptile or something. The whole thing kind of slithers sideways, and you can find yourself on an exposed flank as your cover has kind of moved off to the left or the right, while you've been busily playing peekaboo with somebody in front of you. We've managed to get one decent shot off, and I'm just coming up to the corner again because, number of tanks change, and just because I fired the KV-3 doesn't mean he's going to be there again. So he's not, he's been replaced by a Freedom. I managed to bounce the shot from the Freedom, but I got a hit in return, and I've spotted the Freedom. He's taken a hit from me. So some of our tanks have moved into the central square, so I'm going to support that push. I want to be careful of the corner here, and just checking the mini-map to see who's around me and where they're coming from. So I thought, right, there's a bit of a cluster of them there behind those buildings. Now I thought they were actually on the low ground, but it turns out there's one of them here on the high ground, but I didn't realise that. So I come down and I say, right, can I get a shot into the T28? I bounced it off the side of the turret, and I'm just waiting for the reload. I'm waiting for the AMX CDC to pop out, but he doesn't, and I wasn't sure if I would give damage as well as tracking him for hitting him on top there. Now, I'd committed to coming off the ramp before I saw the German tank backing out and the IS-3 going for a dive off the balcony there. But at that point, I'd already decided I was going to come out here and try and put pressure on these tank destroyers. They're sniping into the town, and it would be useful if we could engage them while the tanks in the town are basically mopping up in the immediate vicinity around them. So I put a shot into the Waffenträger, return fire from one of the other of them, hit a shed between me and them, so I was unaffected. And I'm pushing forward again, and as I push forward I pick up the Yak Panther, so I back up and see if I can get line of sight. I get a very solid hit in, because I know I won't have too much trouble penetrating the Yak Panther. The artillery had anticipated me, I think, continuing forward, and that shot dropped very short of my position. So now I'm going to push forward. The reload is completed, and I get another opportunity for the Yak Panther. And he makes it a little bit easier by actually backing up and exposing even more of his lower front plate just as I pull the trigger. Now the Carnarvon was in a strong enough hold down position, at least relative to me, but he actually comes up out of the position and gives me an opportunity to shoot him into the side there, as some of my allies get similar opportunities. So he's tracked and he takes quite a lot of damage. So I fire there just as the somebody else finished him off. So that's the end of the Carnarvon. The artillery still remains on this side, and there's two more enemy tanks. Now it looks like the artillery will be finished before I actually complete the reload. But the medium, the AMX-30 is coming around there trying to circle one of our heavies. So I have an opportunity to shoot him. Take away a big chunk of his health, and again he's likely to be gone before I get the opportunity to reload. There's just one remaining enemy tank left, and it is a light tank. And all our tanks are heavy tanks, so this could be interesting. Ghost Town isn't a big map, so he doesn't really have a lot of opportunity to hide. He possibly could cap quicker than we would be able to get to the cap, maybe. Not sure. He has disappeared in the general direction of the cap circle, and various people are coming back up. Ideally, we don't want to separate too much so that we get the opportunity, if he tries to circle one of us, that the other tanks would arrive at least before he's completed the project, or completed the circle, or destroyed one of our tanks. So he's coming in here and he's heading for that tank there in the center, so I thought I'm going to head towards him, see if I can support him. And there's another tank coming in on my right behind me, but as it turns out he ignores the guy in the center and is actually now heading for me. So I am turning to try and keep my forward part of my tank facing to him. I fluffed the shot completely and he's now beating my rotation, but he drives onto the wall. However, he's pretty much doing damage with every shot. And he drives into the wall again, so I managed to get one shot into him, but I don't get a ram and I don't finish him off. The T10 was definitely going for a ram there, and he makes it around the corner. However, there's another tank closing in from the other side. And that's it, it's pretty much game over.
Now that's how you do it.
So we've gotten a victory. And we've done a nice bit of damage. We've got a good few ribbons, despite the very slow reload on the T34. So we did over 3,000 points of damage. We got a second class mastery, 452 assisted, and blocked 1100. And we got a Confederate medal along with the second class mastery. So a Confederate medal is very unusual on the T34. Usually you don't get it with the slow rate of fire. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you again soon.